Phantasmal Flames is here, and while this set is on the smaller side, it still does have some incredibly powerful cards that are already helping boost already existing decks, but the set has also brought some new decks into the fray. Not many, but there are some very noteworthy ones to talk about. One of which being Mega Lopunny EX. This deck has only started to pick up over in Japan, and they've had Phantasmal Flame for over a month now, maybe a month or two. But as always, within the first couple of weeks, there is that experimental period trying to figure out what's good and what isn't. And now people have started to figure out that Mega Lopunny is actually a pretty good deck and a pretty good card. So Mega Lopunny is a 330 HP normal colorless type Pokemon with 2 attacks. The second attack doesn't really matter, but the first attack is pretty strong. Gale Thrust for a single colorless energy. It does 60 damage. But if this Pokemon moved from the bench to the active spot this turn, it does 170 more damage for a total of 230. And moving this thing from the bench to the active is incredibly easy. We have stuff like Jet Energy. You could just, use a free retreater, retreat into it, and now you can do that extra damage. You could use a switch card. There are so many ways to get that damage boost, which makes this card very, very versatile. It's not only seen play as a standalone deck, it's also seen play inside of other decks. But in terms of Mega Lopunny just by itself as a standalone deck, just by itself, 230 damage is not going to be getting you any KOs. You're going to have to attack and then probably retreat into another one and then do another attack. So because that Mega Lopunny has been seen play alongside another Pokemon, one that is very controversial, that card being Dusk Noir. Everyone's favourite with Cursed Blast. Once during your turn, you can put 13 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then it knocks itself out. So with the combination of a Dusk Noir and then a Lopunny attack, you are doing 360 damage, which is enough to KO pretty much anything in the format except a couple of Mega Evolutions. I think Venusaur has 380, but even then, Venusaur isn't really seeing a whole lot of play, but there are a couple of matchups where this deck can struggle a little bit. Plus, with Dusk Noir, you could possibly ping some damage onto something and then use an item such as Counter Capture to bring up something else that you are able to knock out. So then you have damage on that one Pokemon, so you can KO it later on in the game, and then you can bring up something else that you're more worried about. So for example, you could Curse Blast on your opponent's main attacker, they get a prize card, but instead of going after that main attacker, you may want to go after a support Pokemon, like a Fezandipity, knock that out, and then you can take out that main attacker during the next turn, or maybe a turn afterwards. And this deck is very, very simplified. In fact, those are pretty much the only 2 main Pokemon that we need to talk about. Other stuff the deck is playing is something like Klefki, as long as it's in the active spot. Basic Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponents have no abilities. It's a very good lockdown type Pokemon against a lot of specific decks. We have Absol Box, we have Raging Bolt. Even against other matchups like Goldengo, it can shut off Genesect. Against Ceruledge, it can shut off a bunch of different things. It can shut off stuff like Latias inside of decks. It's just a very good card, and if you're able to get it up on your first turn, then you're pretty much set. Considering that we only play a couple of basic Pokemon with abilities, but even then, by that point, you're going to be using their abilities later on when this has already gone off the field. Those Pokemon being our own Latias, so basic Pokemon have no retreat cost, which makes switching into our Lopunnies a lot easier. We have Ditto, so we can transform it into any basic Pokemon from our deck, basically acting as an extra copy of all of our basics. And this deck is also playing Mega Kangaskhan, not to use its attack, but to use its run errand, allowing us to draw 2 cards. So what we could basically do is, if one of our Pokemon is knocked out, we could bring up Mega Kangaskhan, draw some cards, and then retreat out into our Mega Lopunny because it's a basic, and with Latias it will have free retreat. But even then, this deck is maxing out on 4 copies of Switch as well as 4 copies of Jet Energy, so you don't even really need to bring up the Mega Kangaskhan. You could just switch into it and then retreat back into Mega Lopunny if you need to draw a couple of cards. You could even just retreat into the Mega Kangaskhan and then Jet Energy up the Mega Lopunny. So we have various different ways to get that damage boost, because that is obviously what we want to be doing, because just doing 60 damage by itself is not going to be enough. The ace pick of choice for this deck is Enriching Energy. I honestly don't know why. I guess it's a form of consistency, and it's also just an extra energy because we're only playing the 4 Jet Energy, so I guess this just acts as an extra 5th energy if we need it, and it also draws us a couple of cards. But unlike other decks that use it where you can shuffle it back with something like the Dunsparce, once we've used it, that's it. We can't abuse it. We can't use and abuse it over and over again. And then we just have these standard consistency cards. 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin, 4 Nest Ball, 2 Night Stretcher, 4 Rare Candy, 4 Switch that I already went over, 3 Ultra Ball, 1 Jamming Tower, 2 Boss's Orders, 3 Cypher Maniac, 4 Hilda, 2 Iona, 1 Defiance Band, which is another way that we can boost up our damage, again by manipulating prize cards with Dust Noir, the 1 Enriching Energy, and 4 Jet Energy. And for Pokemon, we are maxing out on a 4-2-4 of Dust Noir because it's something that we really do want to see. The 1 Klefki, the 1 Latias, the 1 Ditto, 2 Kangaskhan, and a free line of Lopunny. So I'm going to take this deck onto the ladder. This is my first time playing with the deck, but I think it should be pretty easy to play. It's very simple and very straightforward, so let's see if we're able to take down any wins and see how the deck performs against other decks in the format. So given that this deck is a stage 1 deck, I imagine we want to go first, obviously, so we can set up ourselves for the next turn and start evolving and start attacking. It's normally how stage 1 decks go. I didn't even see what they picked for the coin flip. Oh yes, I do want to go first. The only issue I could really see is if they have a Badoo, that would stop us from playing our rare candies, but with this hand, don't think we're going to be doing a whole lot. I'm going to be honest. They do have a mulligan, just the one. They are playing Dragapult. This might be a pretty difficult matchup. I imagine they might be playing Dust Noir themselves. Do get a Mega Lopunny. Something else we can put down. Right. Nice rip off the top. That's going to help us quite a lot. I think we just go for a Buneri and a Duskull. Don't really need to retreat out the Mega Kangaskhan or worry about getting Latias because we do have a Jet Energy, which we can put onto our Lopunny next turn. Don't have a Rare Candy for the Dust Noir, but we do have a Cypher Maniac, so we can stack our deck next turn. I do want to view all. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're good. Enriching Energy is prized, but that's fine. Gonna get those. Do I want to Ultra Ball? Probably. I could probably Ultra Ball with the Dusclops. But let's see what we get off of this run errand. Night Stretcher and another Switch. I think we'll be okay discarding a Switch and a Dusclops. I'm gonna go ahead and grab out probably just the Latias, I suppose. Just to make things a little bit easier. Bench that. I don't know what's going on with the foiling on my cards. It looks really weird. Just, like, look at this Latias down here. That looks so strange. I don't know if you're able to see that on the recording, but on my screen, or even when I click on it, the foiling's all weird. It's like shadowed underneath. I don't know why it's doing that. It's so strange. We are going to get Badooed here. I'm not particularly worried about that. I do want to go after the Streepy. Do get another Buneri, but we do have the Lopunny to evolve. I can also Cypher Maniac, go after the Badoo, and then they have to bring up something else. So I am going to do that. I'm going to put this on top. And I think we're actually good for the time being. Let's see. Tower. I think I'm just going to put another supporter on top. Just going to do that. And then we're going to run errand to draw them. Ooh, I wonder what I drew. So I'm going to go ahead and Clops this Badoo. So then they have to bring up something else, and then I can just Lopunny. So now they have to bring up either the Skull or the Dreepy. So we get off prizes. Candy. That's alright, I guess. They bring up the Duskull. I'm going to put down the Buneri. We're going to Jet Energy the Lopunny up. And Gale Thrust. 230 damage. Take a KO. Very, very good. 2 prizes in 1 turn. And all they have is a Dreepy. Could rare candy into a pult. They're just going to buddy straight away. Again, the foiling on the cards is looking a bit weird. Not sure if that's just something to do with TCG Live. Are they just going to go for the Badoo again? No, they got back a Psychic Energy. Interesting. Psych onto the Dreepy. Fine with that. They're going to retreat into the other Dreepy. Okay. Fine with that. That's probably going to be my next target. So looking at this hand, I do need to find a way to get this Lopunny out of the active. I do have a switch, and then I can just retreat. I also want to get the Duskull back. Don't need to get the Duskull back. I'm just going to get, I think probably 2 Duskulls, because I have another Baneri. Yeah, we'll just get 2 Duskulls. And then, I don't want a Night Stretch. Actually, I might do want a Night Stretch about the Dusclops, but I can just Noir. And they're probably going to go into Dragapult soon. I'll switch into Kangaskhan. We will... I think I want to Iono first, then Run Errand. I do actually want to keep this hand, so I am just going to Run Errand instead. That's also pretty good. So we're going to retreat into the Lopunny. Boss's orders up this Drakloak. And Gale Thrust. Just slow down their pace into a Dragapult, because these Dragapult lists have started like playing less and less rare candy because they do want to get into Drakloak, and there is the concession. On to game 2. That game 1 went really, really well. So hopefully we can continue this momentum into these other 2 games. Heads. Again, I'm not paying attention to what they're picking. Okay, they did pick heads. Hopefully they make me go first. No, they are going first. So we are going to be a bit slow on our own evolutions, but that's fine. Starting with the Mega Kangaskhan again, that's always good. Getting those extra draw 2. Ooh, this is a really bad matchup because we are weak to fighting. This might be... I'm not sure if we'll be able to win this, I'm going to be honest. Because Mega Lopunny is weak to fighting. And so is Mega Kangaskhan. That is unfortunate. But we do have a Duskull into Candy. They are playing Gravity Mountain, which doesn't really matter for us, because we're playing stage 1s and Dustomar's just going to pop itself anyway. Get rid of the Lily and a power-up for a Riolu. And then they're going to Squawk and Seize. Oh wait, another power-up and a counter capture. So they have gotten rid of 2 power-ups, which I don't think messes up their maths. Actually, I don't think Riolu can KO even with weakness, because I think Lucario does 130. Just have to wait and see. They do attach onto the Riolu. They do have to get this Makuhita out of the active. Unless they have an air balloon. Okay, so we're going to stretch... No, not stretch, we're going to Nest Ball. Latias is prized. And I also have 2 Baneris prized. Oh, that's really bad, actually. This might be a quick game. Get those 2 down, Run Errand. Switch and Lopunny. So that helps the next time we don't have an energy. Which is not very good. Because if they have energy, Air Balloon, Lucario, they're taking 3 prize cards. I'm going to switch up one of the Duskulls. I don't want them taking 3 prizes. It's a waste of a switch, but I'd rather them not take 3 prize cards and already be halfway through the game. We do have the Lucario. Do they have Boss, Air Balloon, Energy? I'm gonna say Lunar Cycle. I do need to Dust Noir pop to KO the Lucario, and they don't have a second Riolu. They do have a switch. So they don't have a second Riolu in play. Which is fine by me, really, but they can get Hariyama set up. Taking a while to think about what they're gonna get. I would probably just get Ultra Ball, Air Balloon. They're not gonna go for Max Belt Gong. Interesting. Attaching the Max Belt, Ultra Ball. I don't understand why they're attaching the Max Belt, because they have no way to bring up anything like the Mega Kangaskhan. Just seems like a bit of a waste. They are going to get the Hariyama. Okay, so they're going to evolve into Hariyama. And probably bring up the Kangaskhan. But the thing is that they don't have another thingy set up. They are going to set up the Hariyama. Okay. I could do an incredibly risky play here. I do get Jet Energy. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to candy this one. I am going to stretch her for the Kangaskhan, which probably seems a bit stupid, but I do actually really want to draw cards. So, it's like this and this is a threat, so they can just bring this up and then KO this, which is a bit annoying. I think this is a loss, if I'm going to be honest. I think this is just a loss. I'm just going to do it. Put it on here. Bring this up. Run errand. Switch Nest. I don't think Nest can really get me anything at this point. I genuinely think this is just a GG. I'm in a bit of a checkmate situation. Because they just bring up the Hariyama and KO the Lopunny. Yeah, I'm just going to concede this one. Okay, third and final game. First game went really well. Second game, I think Lucario is just an insta-loss matchup, if I'm going to be honest. The fact that we have fighting weakness is not good. Because in that situation, even if I KO the Lucario, they just bring up the Hariyama and hit for weakness, and then they take the last two prizes. Opponent is deciding who goes first. Hopefully they go second, pretty please. Unless they're playing a going first deck. They are playing a going first deck. Please don't be Lucario again. That would be pretty nice. This hand is okay, I suppose. Playing some form of Dark Box deck. Oh, I'm going first. I thought you said they were going first. Never mind. Yeah, I'll get Kangaskhan. Switch. Run errand. Cool. Pass. They're going second with a Dark Box style deck. Could be Sharpedo, it could be Gravity Mountain, I'm really not bothered about. If it's Gravity Mountain, I imagine it is Sharpedo. Because Gengar wouldn't play it. Or it could be Absol. It is Sharpedo. This is a deck that I was looking to play, but I've just gone with a different Dark Box type deck that does also use the Toxel. But I do think this deck is pretty good. Pass. Okay. So we could cipher for rare candy something else. Yeah, we're going to cipher for, let's see, rare candy. And let's see, I would say Latias. I'd actually say a Buddy Puffin at this point. Yeah, it seems a bit weird, but it's what I'm gonna do. Run errand. Those. Then I'm gonna get another one of you and another one of you. I'm gonna evolve you. And a rare candy. Now, what do I care most about? Probably this. That's what I care most about in this situation. Defiance Band. And now we just Jet Energy. And Gale Thrust. Another switch. Bring up the monkey. So that does help in putting them behind quite a bit. Often they do bring out the Psyduck, which is very annoying for us. Scanning energy and a Sharpedo for probably Toxtricity. Fez instead. Sure. I would have gone for Toxtricity, to be honest. If you have a Dark Energy. Nest. Maybe Pecharin. No, another Carvana. Okay. Attaching to Carvana. And passing. Okay. I want to Ultra Ball this and this. Or probably another Lopunny. Yeah, I'm gonna go for another Lopunny. We're gonna evolve. We're going to switch. I actually should have gone for the Latias, but that's fine. I'm gonna Iono. Okay, that's fine. We can get the Latias anyway. Do I want a Night Stretcher for anything? Maybe Dust Noir. I'm gonna run errand. Okay, we don't need to. It doesn't really matter because we can't pop it because of this Psyduck. Psyduck Protect Bench. Okay, so it just loses the ability. That is fine with me. So I do need to get rid of that Psyduck at some point. Which is a bit annoying. I do want to save a slot. So I'm going to retreat. And KO. Because they can't one-hit KO me with a Sharpedo attack. So I just need to get rid of this Psyduck and then I should be good. If I can get a boss for the Psyduck, that would be very nice. They still don't have the Toxtricity up, which is fine. Oh, they might be getting it now. So what do they have in the discard? They do have a Sharpedo in the discard. I think you play like free Carvana Sharpedo, and then free Toxel Toxtricity, so they are going to go for the Toxtricity. And Night Stretcher for the Sharpedo. Gonna Sinister Surge onto the Sharpedo. They don't have a monkey to move the damage off. Arven might be going for a counter catcher. Get rid of the Latias. And they're going to go for Mochi Ultra Ball. So they're going to go for the Poison Strat to KO this Lopunny. So I need a pretty explosive turn next. I need a pretty explosive turn next turn, that's what I'm trying to say. Petrant. Actually, will the poison help me in a way? No, because I still need a little bit of extra damage. Because it only does 10. They do have one card in hand. But because they have the Petrant... Oh yeah, they don't KO, I forgot about that, that's kind of funny. Right, I'm kind of fine then for the moment. They can't move around damage or anything like that. I don't want to Iono. Night Stretching for something just isn't worth it. I could retreat. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna Night Stretcher for the Dust Skull. Put that down. Oh wait, I have Hilda, what am I talking about? I'm gonna Hilda for this. Yeah, so I'm just gonna... So they can't move damage because they don't have space for a monkey, and they also have one card in hand. So... I'm just going to jet into... It's like, I'm not really worried about anything, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just gonna jet into the other one. And then Gale Thrust. They have one card in hand. They could retreat into Petrant, but like... It doesn't really do much. Because they're only doing... they're only doing 180. Okay, they have Boss for the Latias. And they are going to go into Petrant instead, so I just need to draw my own boss. You have put me in a difficult spot here, but I'm just going to bring up this one so then I can retreat into the other one. No boss, unfortunate. Do I Iona? I don't know. I kind of have to Iona here, it's a really difficult position. I have to. Unfortunately. Ditto double candy. I mean, if they have another boss, then they just win. But that means I give them space to put a monkey Doring down, and I really don't want to do that. Yeah, if I kill this, they can just put a monkey Dora down, attach an energy, and then knock it out. So instead, I'm going to just put up this and end. And now I'm just in a top deck situation where I have to top deck boss. But I'm also in a situation where I need a way to retreat out into my Lopunny. They are just going to go for the kill, the KO. I bring this up. Another Kangaskhan, that doesn't do it. Pass. They're gonna Iono themselves down to 2. I have switch. Just need a boss. That's all I need. All I need is a boss's orders. Okay. This is the last turn that I have a chance. I have the switch to switch out. But do I get the boss? I'm gonna thin the deck. I'm just gonna thin the deck as much as possible. Just get whatever. Run errand. No, we do not get it. But they also might not have the monkey. So I suppose we'll just play it. If they have monkey dark energy, then GG, I suppose. I want to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do they have monkey dark energy? They're gonna Ultra Ball. Tatsugiri? They're digging for a boss? Because if they retreat out, they can't retreat back out unless they have a switch. Not sure what they're doing here. I also do have enriching for the possibility of drawing a boss. I'm surprised I haven't seen one. I haven't used any. It's like if they had Dark Energy Monkey, that was it, GG. But decided not to do it. Attaching onto the Fez. Sure. Greedy Fang to draw to 7. I'll draw... what? Oh, they just draw 2. I thought it was draw 2, 7. Okay. Enriching Energy. Still no boss. How have I not drawn a boss? I actually probably should have put it on this, but anyway. That doesn't KO, which is really, really unfortunate. Yeah, I should have put it on this and then brought the other one. That's kind of annoying. Do I have any way of getting switches out? If I bring this up, they can't KO this. Where are my boss's orders? Right, I'm just gonna do this. But... oh, one of them is prized. Right, I'm just gonna put these on top of the deck. Do you have it? Show me it. There it is. Yeah, I hate when people do those emotes. I genuinely hate it. So overall, Mega Lopunny is a bit of a mixed bag in my opinion. When it can get going, it can get going, but it does have some pretty difficult matchups. And with the current wave of support cards we have in the format that stop stuff like Dust Noir, that really does slow it down. The fact that its boost only comes when it moves from the bench to the active can be a bit of a crutch, because you do have to obviously switch out and then switch back in, which can be easy to do in some instances. You could just retreat into something and then jet energy back up, but that's if you get the energy, and that's obviously if you have something like Latias in play, then it's a lot easier because you can just switch out and then free retreat a basic. It's like, the damage isn't bad. 230 damage is a decent amount and can KO quite a few things, obviously. It's just a little bit short of some other decks in the format. For example, like Goldengo's 250, Several Ledger's 270. So you are going to need to either use a Dusclops or a Dust Noir to hit those KOs, which is the main reason why the deck is playing those cards. I do think Enriching Energy is a weird A-spec choice for this deck. It probably could be something else, but I haven't had enough time to play with the deck. So maybe this is the best A-spec, maybe it isn't. It's all just up in the air at the moment, but this is the one that's been seeing the most amount of play with this deck in Japan, so that's the one I put into the deck. I do like the combination of Cypher Maniac's code breaking as well as Mega Kangaskhan being able to just stack 2 cards on top of your deck and then draw those 2 cards. Very similar to how Goldengo does it, adds a very good form of consistency and sets you up for the next turn. Klefki never came up, but I can see its uses in certain matchups. Jamming Tower is also something that never came up, but again I could see its uses in certain matchups. Surprisingly, this deck doesn't play Fazendipity. I guess it's because you have Kangaskhan, which can just draw 2 every turn, and you also have Enriching Energy to draw your cards. Plus with Cypher Maniac you can just stack the top 2 cards of your deck, and you're pretty much going to be getting a prize card every turn or every other turn with Dust Noir's Cursed Blast, being able to KO something and then you can just get an extra prize card, and then maybe KO something else. I do think this deck is like decent-ish. It's probably a very good like rogue tier deck, probably something you could take down to locals and have a bit of fun with. At regionals, not really sure how this deck's going to perform because it does have quite a lot of weaknesses. For example, it's weak to fighting, and Mega Lucario is a pretty popular deck, so you instantly lose to that. Anything that's playing, you know, Psyduck or even the new Battle Cage, I think that's what it's called, it's just a crutch for this deck because now you can't blow up your Dust Noirs, and now it's having to take 2 hit KOs and you can't pick off stuff on the bench. But that's not to say the card's bad, it is good. Obviously 1 energy for that amount of damage is always good. It's just on its own it doesn't do a whole lot, and it does require support from other Pokemon to get itself going. But I still think it's a pretty decent deck. I probably won't see myself playing it again in the future, but I did have fun with it, and those games were actually like pretty close, especially that last game. We were both looking for a boss's orders. The first game really showed off how powerful this deck can be. Second game showed off how it can just have some really bad matchups, like Lucario is just an awful matchup. It's probably just an insta loss. And then that third game was a very, very back and forth game, and I actually quite enjoyed it, even if in the end I couldn't win. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think about Mega Lopunny EX. Is this something you're looking forward to building? Is this something you're going to pick up and play down at locals, or maybe take it to a couple of regionals here and there? Do you think this deck could possibly get better in the future as more people play around with it and tinker with it? Because again, it has only just started becoming good in Japan, so maybe once we start tinkering around with it, it could end up becoming even better. Very much how like Absol, you know, Absol Box wasn't really a thing, and then Todd Redcliffe took it to an event and he's won, I think he won the recent regional in Las Vegas with it actually, and it's become a very, very popular deck and a very, very popular card. Just because one player showed off just how strong it can actually be, and maybe the same can be said for Mega Lopunny when one specific player just shows off how strong the card can be at a regional. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that nonsense. Any and all support is greatly appreciated, and you take care.